Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Christ. I'm the chairman of the Town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency in connection with the project, which is the subject of this public hearing. I'm joined here at Town Hall by Randy Green, Don Berger, both board members, our executive director, Connor Eckert, and our counsel, Bob McLaughlin. This hearing is being transcribed by Michelle. Today I am holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement of the agency with a project for the benefit of Matrix Maple LLC, hereafter known as the company. The proposed project was described at the first public hearing on December 3rd, 2019. I see a typo. And has not substantially changed. As disclosed at the regular meeting of the agency held on June 9th, 2020, the company has submitted certain amendments to the application as well as additional information and modifications to the financial assistance being requested by the company. These amendments, information, and modifications were submitted at the regular meeting of the agency on May 12th, 2020, and thereafter. Even though a public hearing for the project was held on December 3rd, 2019, in light of these amendments, information, and modifications, the agency scheduled this public hearing pursuant to the Act as described below. I intend to provide general information on the agency's general authority and public purpose to provide assistance to this project as proposed. I will then open the comment period to receive comments from all present who wish to comment on either the proposed project or the financial assistance contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. The legal authorizations and powers of the agency come under provisions of Chapter 1030 of Laws of 1969 of New York, constituting Title I and Article 18-A of the General Municipal Law, Chapter 24 of the Consolidated Laws of New York as amended, Chapter 527 of the 1971 Laws of the State of New York as amended, codified as Section 911-C of said General Municipal Law, collectively the Act, authorize the agency to promote, develop, encourage, and assist in the acquiring, constructing, reconstructing, improving, maintaining, and equipping, and furnishing of manufacturing, warehousing, research, commercial, and industrial facilities, among others. Pursuant to Section 859-A2 of General Municipal Law of the State of New York, the Act, prior to the agency providing any financial assistance, among other things, must hold a public hearing pursuant to this section 859-A of the Act with respect to said project. Now, unless there is any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of this public hearing and instead request that the full text of the notice of the public hearing be inserted into the record of this public hearing as Schedule A. The comments received today at this public hearing will be presented to the members of the agency at or prior to the meeting at which the members of the agency will consider whether to approve the undertaking of the proposed project by the agency and the granting of the agency of any financial assistance in excess of $100,000 with respect to the proposed project. Written comments on the notice of this public hearing indicated that written comments could be addressed to myself, Jeffrey D. Christ, chairperson of the agency. We have received a letter from John Brown. I'm not aware of any other letters at this point. I would like to ask our Executive Director, Connor Eckert, to briefly overview the project since the current conditions with COVID makes it more difficult for the company to be here to present those comments. Connor, please.
Thank you, Jeff. The proposed project is a 4.9 megawatt acre community solar farm at 59 Maple Avenue in Rock Tavern, New York, within the town of Montgomery. The applicant is asking for a 25-year pilot through the Montgomery IDA. This is a deviation from our existing UTEP, which has been shown throughout our deviation notices that were delivered to the relevant taxing jurisdictions. Solar is a unique project with which the IDA is currently considering the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities associated with said development.
All set? I will now open the public hearing for public comment, and I'll note the time is 3:06 p.m. As you know, due to the state of emergency declared by the town supervisor on March 13th, 2020, this public hearing is being held via telephone communication. It is also being live streamed. Holding public hearings pursuant to telephone communications is authorized by Governor Cuomo's Executive Order numbers 202.2 and 202.15 as amended and extended. Accordingly, by way of operating rules, when I ask if there is public comment, I will recognize one person at a time. I will first request comments from any elected or public officials which may want to speak. I will then open the line to the remainder of the public. If you wish to make a public comment, I would ask you to please be patient, as although you can see members of the agency present, we cannot see you. Please wait to be recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and address for the record. When everyone has had an opportunity to speak, I will conclude this public hearing. A record of the public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by members of the agency in connection with the agency's consideration of the proposed project. Again, the purpose of the public hearing is to solicit public comment. We're not here to answer questions. However, we will, in the course of the public hearing, consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. I will now ask if anyone is in attendance who wishes to comment either on the nature of the location or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. For the record, please state your name and indicate your comments on either the proposed project or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated. I'm not aware of any public officials who have questions, and I believe we have John Brown on the line. John, if you can hear me, state your name and ask your question.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Can you hear me fine?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. This is John Brown, Browns Road, Coltham. I did submit a letter earlier today, and I do have some updates based on new information that has come in since I submitted that original letter.
I think it's sideways.
Okay, the first point is that I indicated the information was not available. It turns out that due to technical issues with browsers and refreshing and where documents were located, I was unable to see it, but Connor had reached me this morning and directed me on how to find that information. So I do want to acknowledge that that information was there. It appears that it was posted on the town website on June 16th, at least the revised application, and some different dates for other documents. But first time that has ever happened to me, and I haven't had that come up before, so I was a little surprised myself by that, and I just wonder if anyone else, others have had that same technical issue. But in any case, I just wanted to point that out. Having just been able to see the documents today, starting at about 9:30 or so, I do have some comments that I'd like to bring forward for the board that I was unable to get the time to put them in written form, but I can follow up with that if that would be requested by the board.
Go ahead, John.
At this point, let me just go through those comments. I noticed the deviation proposal was dated June 9th, 2020, understanding that the special district payment to, in our case, the Coldham Fire Department, is in addition to the pilot payment that has been proposed in this draft. And that, as I understand it, that special district payment will be based on the full assessed value of the land plus the solar addition. Rough numbers, it looks like from something I spoke with Joe Keenan on, that would be about $13,500 or so in the initial year. So the total payment in that first year would be the pilot of somewhere around $33,000 and the $13,500 for the Coldham Fire Department. And obviously that would be dependent on the assessment that is set by the assessor. So I wanted to just get that clarified for everyone, because it was, at one point I believed actually the pilot had included the Coldham Fire Department pay, but it is in addition to it. The next point is that the penalty for conversion of agricultural land, which I think certainly is warranted, that penalty be imposed as per my letter, is not part of the pilot payment or not waived as a result of this pilot agreement. And that penalty would in fact be an additional separate item that would be charged. And I believe it's somewhere probably in the $30,000 a year. I'm sorry, total payment of $30,000 a year, $30,000 total, which comprises 5 years of the ag exemption that was in place. So I think that needs to be clarified, that again is separate from any pilot agreement. The next point is proposed pilot payment doesn't appear to address what's going on with the Valley Central School District, which apparently they've opted out of the 487 exemption, but have they specifically reviewed the proposed pilot payment that you're putting in place here and understand what payment will come to the district? In prior discussions on this at public meetings, there was an implication that the school district was not entitled to any payment, so the district had not responded within 60 days to some requests back in 2018 or early 2019. And I would contend that this is a new application with new terms and payments, and that should restart the clock. And the school should have the 60 days to evaluate and respond. And this is a big amount, because as per the current rates, I mean, it would be maybe about $135,000 annually to the school if they were getting a payment based on the full value. Now, I recognize in the past the school didn't get it, but there
Thank you, John, for those detailed questions, and there are areas the board has been discussing, and we'll further detail our conclusions to answers on those questions. Connie, do we know if anyone else would like to come before the public hearing from the public?
Thank you, John. Hello, is anyone else there want to speak? Hello? Is anyone else there that would like to speak? Hello? Okay.
And you're still hooked into the conference call?
Yep. John, are you still on? Would you mind
Yes,
just...
I'm still on, Connor. I can still hear you clearly, but I don't know if me being on prevents someone else. So if you think it's advantageous, I will hang up now. And
Please do, that'd be great. Thank you for your comments, John.
okay.
Much appreciated. Is anyone there who would wish to comment? Hello?
I might ask if either of the other two board members that are here tonight have questions to come before the public hearing. And I do not.
Hello? Anyone?
So if there's no further comments, I will now close this public hearing. We're at 3:21, which puts us right at 15 minutes, I think. Are we okay, Bob? Thank you for everyone attending, and we'll research the input that we received here this afternoon. Have a good night.